It's 5:30. This is WKYT This Morning. A Lexington church is pushing for an end to violence. We're looking ahead to a peace walk they have planned for tonight.
Also on WKYT this morning, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump touched on some big issues in the third and final presidential debate of the election season. Now they return to the campaign trail. We'll recap the debate just ahead.
Should be interesting, and find out where you can get a free flu shot in Lexington today. We'll have that, plus your Kentucky forecast straight ahead on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky morning start right here on WKYT, and the gang's all here. We welcome you in. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. It is Thursday, October 20th, and today we are finally going to get some much needed rain. 100% chance.
We've needed that. And, you know, also fall weather has been elusive, and we're going to get a change there as well. You know, we haven't had no frost at this point. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris, who talks about some changes.
Yeah, big changes, too. Overnight and into tomorrow, you'll really start to feel it. Today is more about the rain than anything else. Temperatures won't be all that bad. We'll actually finish off in the 70s and right around 80 degrees later on this afternoon. Already seeing a couple of showers spark up in far south and southwestern Kentucky. Now, as we continue to go through your day, starting off in the 60s but finishing off once again in the 70s to around 80 degrees, storms will be on the increase. We're going to go over that. I'll show you when the bulk of the rain moves on in, because it's not a line moving through. I can't give you a 3-hour window. It's going to be very spotty where it sparks up here and there, and it comes in waves. I'm going to explain all that coming up.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit with that little complicated forecast coming up.
Let's get to the news. Members of the community here in Lexington say they want to put an end to gun violence.
And this comes, of course, days after 15-year-old Trinity Gay was shot and killed in the parking lot of the Cookout on South Broadway. WKYT's Lauren Miner is live in Lexington right now. She's looking ahead to this march planned for tonight, what they hope to accomplish. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Bill. The march is pushing to end violence throughout the city. The march will actually start off just a couple blocks away from Cookout at a church on South Broadway. It'll pass by the restaurant, and then they will end up at Triangle Park. Willie Watson is one of the pastors at Higher Praise International Deliverance Temple on South Broadway, where the walk will start. Pastor Watson says he's known several people who've become victims of violence over the years and wants people to live in peace together. According to open records from the Lexington Police Department, police have increased patrols here at Cookout. In the past year, police have been called to the restaurant 4 times for assault, including the call Sunday when Trinity Gay was shot and killed. Each of those calls coming in between the hours of 11 p.m. and 3:30 a.m. Records also show that 4 of the 5 restaurants in the area of South Broadway, including Cookout, had multiple calls for criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and drunkenness. Pastor Watson says this march started out for Trinity, but it's really about anyone who's been touched by violence.
We want everybody in the street that's driving down, they will see us holding signs and pictures and shirts, all of it. I want them to see it all so they can know what's going on within the world and how bad it's hurting everybody.
If you are wanting to take part in this march, you are asked to meet at the church right before 6 o'clock. There will be a service before the march begins. Reporting live in Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Lauren, thank you. A 4th person arrested in connection to the shooting death of 15-year-old Trinity Gay will be in court in Lexington this morning. Police have charged 20-year-old Lamonte Williams with wanton endangerment. 3 other men arrested Sunday face the same charge. Chazere Taylor and DeMarcio Taylor are both out of jail after making bond.
The Lexington Fayette County Health Department is helping you fight the flu for free.
There will be 2 clinics set up today where you can get your shot. Let's go to Michelle Chamberlain at the WKYT Alert Desk for the details on that.
Yep, today is the day to get your free flu shot, and health officials say now is the best time to do so. The flu hit Kentucky early this year. At this time last month, there were 10 confirmed flu cases in the state. Now, the health department says the flu typically doesn't show up till October or November, with peak season being in late January. Last year, Lexington had 130 confirmed cases of the flu. Now, Consolidated Baptist Church on Russell Cave Road and Southland Christian Church on Richmond Road will be the locations to get the free flu shot today between 4 and 7 o'clock. The health department recommends printing out a form from their website to shorten your wait time today. Now, the flu shot is recommended to all people ages 6 months and older. The health department provided more than 1,100 free shots at last year's special clinic. They say they prepared as many as 2,000 shots for today. Guys, back to you.
Right, sounds like they plan to be busy over there.
Can't beat free.
Right.
The 2016 presidential candidates are back on the campaign trail today in key states following last night's third and final presidential debates.
Once again, it was raucous, no doubt about it. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump went toe-to-toe for 90 minutes in Las Vegas on issues like Russia, the economy, and immigration. They got personal from time to time. Weijia Jiang recaps the debate.
The Such a nasty trust fund by making
the tense Sin City showdown ended as it began, without a customary handshake between the presidential nominees. But one of the most controversial moments of the night came when Donald Trump refused to say whether he'd accept the outcome of the general election.
I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
That's horrifying. You know, every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him.
At least 3 Republican senators, including Arizona's Jeff Flake, immediately condemned the remarks on social media, as did Clinton's campaign. This group of uncommitted voters was left divided.
It'll inspire disconnection from a lot of the population from the political process.
To say, no matter what the results are, I will be okay with it, without knowing what's going to happen, I don't think anybody would do that about anything that was serious.
The third and final debate here in Las Vegas was dominated by substance, from abortion to the economy to Russian interference in the election.
Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
Both candidates addressed their looming controversies as well. Clinton on her family foundation.
Everything I did as Secretary of State was in furtherance of our country's interests.
And Trump on the numerous sexual assault allegations against him.
I think they want either fame or her campaign did it, and I think it's her campaign.
Voters get their say in less than 3 weeks when they head to the polls on Election Day. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Clinton and Trump will both be delivering remarks at the Alfred Smith Memorial Foundation dinner in New York tonight. That event benefits charities that serve New York's neediest children. Here locally, a Scott County man accused of killing his parents nearly a decade ago thinks jurors in a new trial should hear about another possible suspect in the case. According to the Georgetown News Graphic, attorneys for Anthony Gray want a judge to allow testimony about a man Gray claims bragged about killing James and Vivian Gray in 2007. Gray is scheduled to go on trial for the 3rd time next year. His first trial ended in a hung jury. He was convicted of murder in the second trial, but the Kentucky Supreme Court later overturned the conviction, ruling that a confession used in the trial was coerced.
A grand jury has indicted a woman in connection to a deadly crash in Whitley County. Sonia Askins has been indicted on murder charges. In July, police say her car hit Joshua and Teresa Bennett as the couple walked on the side of Highway 895. Teresa died after the crash. Police say Askins drove off, but they later arrested her. They say Askins admitted taking prescription pills and drinking moonshine before the crash. New this morning, a Laurel County woman is behind bars after taking thousands of dollars from a business. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office arrested Whitney Johnson on theft charges. She's accused of taking more than $10,000 worth of cash and merchandise. Police say she worked as a cashier at the store. Police have not released the name of the business, only saying it happened in northern Laurel County. Johnson is being held on $25,000 bond.
Well, Nicholasville police are calling an unusual crime for them. They say 2 men robbed the Family Dollar on Main Street while customers were inside. Police have released surveillance video from the store. They say a man in a pink hoodie pulled a gun on a clerk and stole money from the cash register. And police say a second man in a black hoodie stood watch at the door the whole time.
Pretty brazen individuals to walk into a business at noon and do what they did. It is quite unusual for us. We've only had a couple armed robberies in the last few years, which most are at nighttime, but this one was rather unique.
Nicholasville police say the suspects appear to be in their late teens or early 20s. At last check, they had not made any arrests in that case. Well, doctors say the first female hand transplant performed in Kentucky is a success.
69-year-old Luella Aker lost part of both hands and arms after an infection she caught during cleanup efforts after a 2012 tornado in Indiana. She received a double hand transplant during a 17-hour procedure last month at a Jewish hospital in Louisville. Akers says while she doesn't know the donor, she has this message for that person's family.
I couldn't love them anymore. Than any of my family.
This is the second hand transplant done in Kentucky and only the 10th hand transplant overall. Doctors say hand transplant lasts nearly 20 years. That's an uplifting story.
Yeah, it really is. Well, we have a traffic alert to pass along. For the weekend, the Valley View Ferry will be closed for part of the day on Saturday.
Lexington police and firefighters will recover a few cars from the Kentucky River. Police tell us they are not associated with any investigation, though. The ferry will be closed between 10 Saturday morning and 2 that afternoon.
And it is time to check traffic this morning and see what's going on at 541. And we'll take a look at the region first off. And here you go with no reports of any problems anywhere right now. Looks really good on the interstates, the main highways, US 27 and 127 there through Lawrenceburg up toward Frankfort. Everything looking good right now.
Now let's get a live look outside courtesy of the LFUCG Drive Cam. We're looking at New Circle and Georgetown right now, and everything's looking like it's moving very smoothly this morning.
Everything's good. We did have an accident a little bit earlier that has cleared out on New Circle Road between Newtown and Georgetown, so all good at the moment.
That's right.
Let's keep it that way, everybody. Be careful out there. A lot more news coming up for you here on your Thursday morning.
Still ahead, it's a dream come true for a few people in Virginia. They got the chance to fly. Find out why that's so special after Micah's forecast.
A lot of rain on the way, some heavy downpours, and also with those thunderstorms, the possibility of some severe weather. We're going to go over that. I'll show you when I expect a lot of this to move on in. Coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We don't have much going on in our region, but what we're going to be seeing is toward the north and the west of us is a big cold front that's going to be moving on through. That will bring us widespread rain later on today. Now, there are a few showers going on in southern Kentucky, and then back toward, it's really out of our viewing area, really for Bowling Green. But what we're going to be dealing with, a few showers here and there during the morning hours. By the afternoon, that's when it becomes pretty widespread. Now, here's the deal with this one. This is your front. It will come in waves. The first wave is right in here. The next wave is actually right back here. So you will get breaks here and there as we go through the day. But afternoon, evening, that's the best chance to actually see a lot of that rain move on in. Here's the breakdown of it, because people have been asking me, what time am I going to be seeing rain at this location or this location? This isn't a line of rain moving through. This isn't a big mass of rain moving through. It's bits and pieces of the system. So some will actually pick it up before others. And not only that, but maybe over toward the east, you could pick up rain before places toward the west. I mean, that's just the way it's going to go. It's very hit and miss to start off with, and then the massive rain really funnels on in late in the day. So here's 5 p.m. You saw that at noontime. Noontime, still looking at about a 40% chance of rain, especially 75 back toward the west. 5 p.m. though, when kids are already coming home from school, when you're coming home from work, I mean, it looks pretty rainy, especially along that 75 corridor and back toward the west. Look at southeast, still not in the action. Remember I said this morning that everybody sees rain. It's just what time are you going to be seeing it? Well, let's go deep into the afternoon, off into the evening hours, and there you go, have some rain pushing off into southeastern Kentucky, off into the night too. Here's 11 p.m. So this is going to be a good amount of rain. I'd say about a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rain. That's great news for a lot of us. A lot of us need it on the yards and the crops. So we are good to go there as we travel throughout the next 24 hours with the rain chances. They are there with us. Not only that, but what we have to watch out for, the potential for an isolated severe storm. We go overnight and into Friday morning, still holding on with some rain. Here's 6 a.m., so getting up, getting the kids ready to go to school. That's what it looks like tomorrow morning. But then as we get into the afternoon, look at it move on out. Yeah, you're talking about a very chilly evening there for Friday night football. 49 degrees at kickoff. Get ready for that. Overnight lows on Saturday morning in the 30s. Patchy frost is possible. We'll see how that turns out. Look at UK's game. Kickoff at 7:30. Yeah, you'll need a coat for that one. It's 50 degrees at kickoff. That means your drive home will be there in the 40s. Much of the game will be in the 40s. Keep that in mind. At least we're staying dry, though. 7-day forecast. Everybody gets rain today. It's just when do you actually get it? Mainly afternoon, evening, and off into the night. It starts to fade away Friday morning and Friday afternoon. Looks much better, but much cooler, guys. Friday night football. Football for EKU, even at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, is still going to be very chilly. A lot going on.
Like you said, at least it's dry, because cold and wet is the worst combination.
And that can impact your crowds. And, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty good days for football.
Not bad.
Just cover up, you'll be all right. Our time this morning is 5:48. About 24 people in Virginia got to leave their wheelchairs behind for the chance to fly.
This is a great story. The facility called iFly hosted an all-abilities night. Some flyers said they never thought they'd be able to do something like this, but they say it was a night they will never forget.
The wind coming through your hair, across your face, and just to absorb that feeling, it's just so special.
It was very freeing to get out of my chair.
Such a great thing they did there. Some participants are part of the support organization Determined to Heal for para and quadriplegics. The group gets together to do things like skydiving to help get back to living and get out of their comfort zones. That's something I've always wanted to try.
I think fun.
Indoor skydiving is the way to go.
I was going to say that would be the version.
Me too,
We were all talking here, Micah and I were all saying, 15, 20 feet off the ground, that might be a little
I can handle that.
than the real thing.
That's right.
But we have some folks that really love skydiving around here. They go up into southern Ohio and some places and do that,
More power to them.
You got it.
Coming up, you'll get a look at the stories making news at this hour.
We're going to keep track of traffic this morning as things start to pick up out there. We'll have health news and a lot more. It is sure good to have you with us. Bright and early on your Thursday on WKYT this morning. Good morning and welcome back in WKYT this morning. We're on the air live on your Thursday. The time right now, 5:53.
Let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
A Lexington church is pushing for violence to stop in the city. They're holding a peace walk along South Broadway. 15-year-old Trinity Gay was shot and killed at the Cookout restaurant there over the weekend. The peace walk will start at the Higher Praise International Deliverance Temple on South Broadway. It'll be at 6 o'clock tonight. It will end at Triangle Park.
And here's some good news to start your day. The Lexington and Fayette County Health Department is helping you fight the flu for free. There will be 2 clinics set up today where you can get your shot. Consolidated Baptist Church on Russell Cave Road and Southland Christian Church on Richmond Road will be the locations to get the free flu shot between 4 and 7. The CDC recommends everyone get flu shots by the end of October. Last year, Lexington had 130 confirmed cases of the flu. All right, in national news this morning, the 2016 presidential candidates and their surrogates are back on the campaign trail today in key states following last night's third and final presidential debate.
More tough talk, right? Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were on stage for 90 minutes in Las Vegas, and they talked about issues like Russia, the economy, and immigration. One of the controversial moments of the night came when Trump refused to say whether he would accept the outcome of the election should he lose. And that comment immediately drew some condemnation from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle.
In the sports world, the Cleveland Indians are heading back to the World Series. The Indians beat the Blue Jays 3-0 in Toronto yesterday to win the American League pennant. They'll face the winner of the Los Angeles Dodgers-Chicago Cubs contest in the National League. Turns out exercise may help you retain memory. That tops your morning health headlines.
You remember that?
I know.
The finding of a Canadian study that tested senior citizens who already had memory loss and thinking problems. After 6 months, researchers found that seniors who exercised showed a small improvement in memory compared to those who were not active. A new study finds overweight and obese adults under the age of 50 who eat a diet rich in whole grains may be at a lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Researchers at the Cleveland Clinic tested 2 groups of overweight adults. One group ate a diet rich in whole grains, while the other ate refined products. Scientists reported people in the whole grain group lost weight and significantly lowered their blood pressure.
All right, let's get a check this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with live drive traffic.
See what's going on out there. We'll look first off at the travel times into Lexington from some of the surrounding towns and cities. And you're looking good, really. We have no major delays or problems. Everything is about normal from those areas. And, of course, the same if you're heading out to those places. If you're going to work or an appointment or something today, should be good.
Here's a look outside at Manowar and Nicholasville Road, courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Live Drive Cam. Everything looking good this morning. And as we mentioned, everything looks good now. But you may want to grab your coat, your raincoat, your rain boots this morning for the first time in a while, because later on today we're going to see some rain.
Yeah, we'll get ready for that. Let's check in with Micah, who's going to be tracking it. He says it's rather complex.
You know, that's a really good idea about grabbing your raincoat and your rain boots. If you're one of those that really enjoy shoes, don't wear your best shoes today, okay? Because later on this afternoon, off into the evening hours, just doesn't look good as you're coming home from work. It's going to be very rainy out and about for some, not everybody at that time, but for some, so just keep that in mind. A few showers laying down toward the south and southwestern zones. There is a small chance of rain by 8 a.m. By noontime, you're talking 70 degrees, just a few storms in the forecast, and then we get in towards your afternoon, right around 73 with storms on the increase. So as we go through your day, deeper off into the day is when you'll start to see really the bulk of the rain slide on in. It's not a type of setup that I could say, okay, at this time in this area, you can expect rain, because it's so hit and miss, so spotty. It comes in waves. It's just that type of setup. It's a tough forecast to give to you for timing, but nonetheless, the bulk comes afternoon and evening, slides through during the night. We'll go over that with another hour of WKYT News. If you're about to take off, have a great day. If not, stick with us. We're coming up in just a couple of minutes.